I'm reading Record of Ragnarok. Fucking good story, by the way. And on Twitter, I just see this screenshot of Boggly Woods, bro. I fucking love this game. And so I'm just record my audible reaction to it. So yeah, that's what you're getting right now. I'm scared and I'm excited and I'm so very happy to see what they're doing. What is this garbage? I hate this. I actually hate this so much. They did not do the fucking theme correctly. What is that? That's not good. I hate this. I hate this. I actually hate this. Oh my god, I actually really don't like it. I actually really don't like it. Okay, they did alright, but everything looks like it's cardboard and looks super weird. I actually kind of prefer like the other Paper Mario game style. Not even saying old school. I'm saying I definitely prefer original Paper Mario game style. I prefer like what was it called? Or I prefer Origami King and Color Splash art style to this art style. I don't like this. I know this is like the original game brought to life, but it's so weird having like the anti-aliasing on everything because everything is like this. What did they do to my save blocks, you bastards? What is this? That's my place. That's my boat. That's my boat. My name's Goombella. Hell yeah, Goombella. The DePiantas. What the fuck is going on in Petalburg? I don't like the world. The characters, I don't like that they're cardboard, and I don't really like the design of the world. Oh my god, it's so good. And the map does not look good. But holy shit, man, Boggly Woods looks so good. It's a creepy steeple. You got Hooktail's Castle. Okay, I can't even pretend I'm not fucking thrilled, because it really is just like, what if we made that game now, right? This is like the exact same thing as what if they had just made that game from 2002 or 2002, and they just made it now. That game has been with me since I was born. I have played this game since I was a fucking child. The smallest that I could be. One of the first video games I ever played was this game. It looks so good. Oh, and you go a little thin, you do the paper airplane. And I got the noise. Flurry being a whore, she got a big ass nose. What is going on with that? It really is just a, oh my god. Yoshi, my boy. My fucking boy! And the Game Boy Advance looks so good! Oh my god, I love this! I'm just paused looking at, okay, Gonzalez, let's get out there and do some damage. I'm so excited! It's so good! Oh. Yoshi Flutter! Oh, that was weird. It just looked weird because, oh, yo, the battle stage unfolding like that is fucking sick! I really don't like the cardboard, like the kind of like thick texture to every character, and how the feet of Mario and Luigi aren't really attached to their bodies, and they just look like a separate. Ooh, how do I feel? Ugh. I went back a second here. I'm looking at the command prompt. Ugh, that isn't good. Yeah, those command prompts are not good. I also don't really like the actual background itself during battle, like the trees against the 4 or 5 Goombas here. Like, that's kind of not that good. Action buttons work. The stars look weird. Super guard still being a thing, like that. Ooh, okay. Some of the action commands aren't that bad. I think they kind of messed up with. I do think the style of the action commands looks not good. I don't think it fits the actual art style of the game. Just fully honest. I think they nailed it in the original, and then obviously I'm biased towards the original, but I do just really think Flurry's little blue bar with the red A button and shit like that, it just looks not good. And I think that's gross. Obviously they're not gonna go with like use the green A button, the red B button, the gray X and Y buttons, right? Because those don't exist anymore. But I don't think it would have been an issue if they stuck with the colors of those things and just kept the prompts the same, like visually. Yoshi Stampede, all the upgraded stages look fucking dope. Bowser's Castle, Lunkhead, hell yeah, I love that shit. Rainbow Bowser, still like the least interesting part of the entire game was Bowser's fucking minigame stages. Oh my god, Bowser's arm is horribly not attached to his body. You get the Glitzville blimp looking sick as fuck. Oh, you got my little Curse of the Black Box. I love the transitions into the shops being the same. Rogueport looks more vibrant than ever, and I don't know how I feel about it, but it's really nice. Kupiku looking weird as shit. Fine, ignore me! Darkly! Actually, it's just a random Twilight Town Village. It wasn't Darkly in specific. Miss Mouse jumping out. The fucking XS Express, one of the best story chapters in any video game ever. I really don't like when the arms are not attached to the people, because they add the shadow to it, and it's like, it's this weird separation from what's going on. I know the whole point is to look like a pop-up book, but I think making it too literally a pop-up book is definitely to the detriment of everything going on here. Like, yes, I understand it's a Paper Mario game, but not everything needs to be exceedingly paper. There doesn't need to be depth in every single visual thing on screen at once, and it's just kind of weird. I'm just stuck on this frame at the XX Express, and I don't like it. Seeing the Chef Cheap's hands going over his face and the weird ass shadow going over the side of his cheek. Pennington's my fucking guy, by the way. Full respect for Pennington. Mario's feet are still not attached to his body. I don't know Dickhead's name, but Pink Toad with the blonde ass hair looking like an asshole. Foot's also not attached to his body. Blue Mouse Man, foot not attached to his body. It's just a weird separation of character things that's made to look like legitimate pop-up book and like paper toys, and it definitely doesn't not fit the art style. But Dupless looks like as fuck. I mean, not Dupless. That was Mario Arduous. I did see the logo screen before. I thought that looked extremely reminiscent of the 3DS loading screens, or like home menu screens when you open a game. Like the Paper Mario $1000 loading screen title thing. If you were to have that on your 3DS, like if you hovered the game, that's exactly what I'd expect to pop up. That specific screenshot. That's what it looks like. But outside of the fact that this isn't a 3DS game, I don't think that looks good. I think there's a lot of not so good. Oh, yo, the Peach transition. Oh, Tech looks dope. My boy Tech. Oh, yeah. That's my guys. I love this. I'm so excited, but there's also so many just different thoughts that I have that are like, this kind of sucks, but it's also really cool. I mean, for what it's worth, right? Like, there was no remake they could make that would ever beat the original. I don't like a lot of the graphics. Things are too shiny and glossy and not. I'm not a fan. I've really disliked this for all of the Paper Mario games they've released for a while, where everything is just like this really 2D claymation looking style thing where they made like the actual paper environments, and I feel like that's definitely not bad, but I liked when everything was just conjoined, even though it was a limit of the technology. I think it was better for the design than just a bunch of these things on all these different textures, you know? Every single thing is super fucking shiny when it comes to the floor. Every single floor I've seen so far has been super shiny, and it's just bad. It just doesn't look right. And like, I'm not saying that as like, oh, I'm biased because I love the game. I'm saying that because it just doesn't look good. And other people say that looks amazing. And you know, fair play to you. I just think it doesn't look good. But I'm fucking happy because that's my game. Is not as much of my game as I felt before. You know, when I saw the screenshot of the Boggly Woods, I thought it looked fucking brilliant. They did Boggly Woods amazing. I hope Vivian's still a girl in the English translation. Maybe they'll even make Vivian a girl over in Japan this time. Who knows? Maybe they'll translate it over there incorrectly, as if they need to translate it for some reason. But I hope that we still get our version of the game where Vivian's a girl, and if they want the Vivian's a boy nonsense because they've already had that. I say nonsense, but like that's the original story. But it is what it is. I just think that I'm a little bit less excited having watched it, because it was like, that's my game. I was crying for a little bit, I'll be honest. When I just saw the screenshot of Boggly Woods pop up on Twitter, I was crying for like a minute. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like, I actually mean like a minute, and like it doesn't seem like long, but I don't cry. I physically cannot cry. And so, the fact that the game got me to cry for a minute is so fucking cool. But seeing more of it, I'm a lot more unenthusiastic about it because it's so different visually. And it just continues off of what I dislike about certain games. Like, I still think Origami King's art style works better for a different game, like some Origami Ninja thing, which is a game that I've talked about with friends before, and just would look so much better for that than it does for Origami King. And same for this. This game's art style is brilliant, but would look so much better if they really went ham with the whole cardboard thing instead of like toning it to a certain level, because it just doesn't look good. You have to pick these art styles that go all the way with it and not just go, let's just go like 30%, let's go 100% on the environments, cardboard, paper, all this rolled up stuff, glossy textures, rough textures, all this gravelly stuff, layers and layers and layers of flooring. Editing me, just cutting in to say, what I specifically meant is like, in the Petalburg area, there are dots along the grass in the original game. There's little like flower textures put onto the grass so that way it looks different. A lot of that area is just really glossy and plain looking for absolutely no reason. If there was more details in the actual land itself, it'd be fine. But everything just looks super flat for no reason at all. There's like actually no depth in this environment other than like the literal three-dimensional depth, which is super saddening. It's just plain. And then also, let's do this character, but maybe dial it back down to like 15%. Let's make them look 3D, but then also just like a drawn on thing to a piece of cardboard with like several detached limbs type things floating around, but not to the same extent as like what we have our environments being. And I think that's such a bad thing that studios and stuff are doing. I've never been a fan of this. Anime studios do it all the time with like CG 3D stuff to their CG 2D stuff, and it always looks so bad. And I think this game does it again to the exact same flaw, except they're a little bit closer because they actually had the characters still somewhat match the art style. It's just not to the same intensity of everything else, which really, really takes away from it from me. But I'm excited. I love the story, and I'm very, very excited to play this shit when it comes out. Luigi's gotta get his story made. They gotta make Luigi's story. I'm actually so upset. Like, it's so cool, but I'm so disappointed in the environments looking the way that they do. And battles. Why do the battle screen look the way that it looks? What the fuck is going on with the actual interactions? Like the little action buttons. Where's the wooden frame on that? Why is it this weird blue thing with this super vibrant, like non-matching red? What's going on with the health bars and levels and gold and the special meter? Why does it look like that? I don't like it! Like, there's such a fucking giant difference just because of how glossy and shiny and bright everything is. And it's like, yeah, well, we can do that with technology now. Doesn't mean you had to. I don't think it looks good. I really don't think it looks good. When Mario comes out of the pipe for chapter 1 and he's walking around in the little opening area of like the hook tail, I can't recall what the fuck is that area called? It's Petal Meadows. When he's walking around Petal Meadows, oh my goodness, man, it looks so ass. It looks so ass. I hate it. I actually fucking hate it. And then looking back at the original, it's like, yeah, it's the same thing, you know? It's literally the same thing. I'm literally gonna look it up right now. It's literally the same thing, but it's like the ground itself just looks like it's meant to be another texture. It's still all comic book style. It's all grainy and shit. The grass folds over sharply instead of just being like, let's take these rolls of paper and just roll it over the edge. It looks nice and it's all one texture rather than being all these separate models hanging off of each other, which is what I think this series should be like, you know? It should be drawn onto things and you play with the environment as if this environment is 3D, right? Like there's different drawn aspects of it, not a paper constructed world. That's kind of how I've always seen it. And then it's like the things that change in the environment are like things you can peel off the page or add onto the page. Like when you flip a switch and a bridge appears, or when this drawn thing happens, you're basically cutting out the staircase after you hit the button with Koops, and the staircase flips over because you, as the person picking up this paper, this sticker, are literally flipping it over. You're changing this 2D world by changing 2D aspects within it on a 3D plane. That's what's always been interesting to me. But when you make these 2D worlds three-dimensional, it looks so bad. I legitimately can't help but not be excited for this game because it's just bad. They did the exact wrong thing time and time again, and it fucking kills me, man. I'm so sad, but I'm also so happy because at least they fucking made the game, and so many people who have never experienced it before are gonna get to experience this brilliant story for the first time in their lives, and that is fucking awesome. But holy shit, I'm so disappointed in the visual style because they've continuously done bad with it. Like, some of the big shots looked really good. Like, winding up Hooktail's castle stairs looked fucking dope. The Glitz Pit balloon looked fucking dope. But again, you're making a cardboard world, constructed origami world, rather than actual paper, hand-drawn shit like a comic book, like the actual style of the original games were meant to be. And that's so fucking disappointing to me, because children still like comic books. Nobody likes these fucking weird-ass cardboard world. I say nobody, I'm vastly over-exaggerating. Origami King was a massive success. I mean, I don't actually know if it was that big of a success, but Origami King was widely well received, and all this stuff. I'm just so fucking disappointed in the art style direction once again, because every critique I had, okay, you know what? I'll take it. There's no white outline around the characters, and I can accept that. I can appreciate that. That is something I'm grateful for. But holy fuck, the actual world itself looks so shit and weird. The stages look weird. It's so fucking weird seeing this world in 3D for a world that was never meant to be 3D. It was supposed to be drawn to look like it, not actually be it, and that fucking kills me. And maybe my perception of it's wrong. You know, maybe the game right now looks exactly like it was originally intended to, but the technology at the time limited to do such, and so the methods they went to try and fulfill that like thought process of like 3D world, 2D paper with 3D world, right? Maybe the thought process they had, they made the best that they could using that thought process at the time, and now this is exactly what they originally wanted to make. But I fucking doubt it. I don't just doubt it, I highly deny that idea as the truth until someone tells me otherwise, and then I'll say, alright, sure, that's fair play to you. I still don't like it though. I'm still not a fan of it. I still gotta say the original just looks infinitely better, and it's not just bias. I have them side by side on my screen right now. The original Petal Meadows just looks more charming. It really, really does. Maybe that part's a little bit biased. Not more charming, but it looks more like what you would expect a paper game to be, right? If it was Origami Mario, I'd be like, hell yeah, this all makes sense. But I mean, it is what it is. Okay. I'm ready to change my opinion a little bit. I think when I said that there's a lot of things in the environment that just like shouldn't be 3D or whatever, I think that's not fair of an assessment to make, because it probably was the original intention. I just think having it so everything is a three-dimensional object that is practically completely 2D, it just looks bad. It just looks bad. It takes away so much from it, in my opinion. I'm trying to figure out how to word it better. In the original game, the backgrounds during combats were all full 2D images. It wasn't an unfolded tree or anything like that. I mean, I think they actually did unfold it sometimes. And then when it fell over, it was just the singular plain thing, just rotating on a 3D axis, falling down towards the screen, you know? Not everything drawn or on screen always needs to have depth or look 3D. That's my opinion on it. And I think in this idea of modern Paper Mario games, that has consistently been the thing that has taken away my enjoyment of the game's visual style, is because everything is full of depth, and I think it just doesn't work with the idea of a hand-drawn picture. And I get it, even in the original game, even in Thousand Year Door actually, a lot of it isn't particularly hand-drawn, but the environments and the textures themselves are often hand-drawn, or rather, they're meant to seem hand-drawn. At least that's my perspective of it, you know? Like Rogueport's whole sewer way, all the walls and stuff like that, they're not obviously all hand-drawn. For the most part, that's like imagination or whatever. It's like textures being repeated, because obviously you're not going to have a separate texture for every single instance of this wall. So the bricks are just going to be repeated over themselves. But the glossy floor thing in Petal Meadows still looks bad. I still think about that. I'm still thinking about that. I still think the actual stage itself in combat looks bad. I still think the title screen just doesn't give any charm in comparison to what the original game is meant to be, because it's like, whoa, this would make so much sense if this was exactly what the Origami King's title logo, like the whole trees in the background with the Paper Mario MarioTheThousandYearDoor text on it. If that was for the Origami King, fuck yeah, that makes sense to me, actually. It's just, I also realized I definitely was still being biased, even when I was trying not to be. And that's because this game is my fucking life. It's kind of hard not to be. But holy shit, it is a little bit disappointing looking at this game and just seeing how different it is. Because it's so much more, like, there's so much more depth to the visuals, and it's just in a sense that I'm talking about physical depth, by the way. I'm not talking about like, ooh, emotional or metaphorical depth. I'm not talking about that. I mean, like, literally, the things they have more shading, they have more textures, everything is meant to look like a 3D object in a 2D plane, and that's not a bad art style. I still think it's an art style that works. I just don't like it. It's not an art style that I enjoy or that I think suits the rest of the game. And it really saddens me because looking back at it, I was just watching some old clips of original Paper Mario Thousand Year Door videos that people have made, like the Game Grumps and Chucky Conway, and it's like, these worlds are still 3D. Even looking at, like, what's it called? Creepy Steeple, or not Creepy Steeple, Hooktail's Castle, you know? There's the staircase that you flip to get up the door, and you have to use the scoops to hit the switch of it, the red switch, and it's right beside the door, beside the two gray stone blocks that you can't break or anything. It's just a thing you jump across. Right there. Even in the OG game, the actual background itself, everything is fully 2D, aside from the blue pillars and like the gray pillars that are meant to be like the support beams for the castle, which are 3D, they stand out. But in this game, every single thing there is 3-dimensional. The bars are 3-dimensional. All the walls look 3-dimensional, you know, there's depth to everything, and I think it just takes away from so much of it. I know that's not a fair assessment to make either, because even in the original game, they employ a lot of the techniques that I'm criticizing now, but I think because of the limited technological advancements that they had, or limited technological capabilities that were present back then, it just worked better for some reason, because you weren't trying to take everything into the next level. It was, let's make everything as best as we can with what we have. Now it's, let's push all of these things so everything's in depth. Let's make this floor glossy. Let's make there be actual different rugged textures on things. And it's like, that's interesting, I guess. I don't like it though. And it fucking pains me because I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't that. And that shit hurts my heart. And there's like, when you go to I have to fully admit, the entirety of Glitzville in the trailer looked fucking perfect. Glitzville looked amazing, aside from the people. I'm gonna not pretend that the people looked good. Glitzville looked amazing. I fucking adored Glitzville. And then the other real gripe I have is the combat area. Actual combat, it's a bit too, I mean, definitely is a bit too different looking for me to be like, oh, that's a really good remake of what we had. It is still a good remake of what we had, but now it's like, just the actual boot itself is sticking out of the thing. It's not like still a part of the thought bubble or anything. Like the thought bubble isn't morphed around the boot, or speech bubble, I guess. And it's like the way that it's like layered around Mario looks really jank. They're much bigger and bolder than they were in the original. And that's my own like personal gripe with it. And then there's like the actual stage itself just looks super weird, and the people in the audience look weird because they all stand out more now because of the aforementioned depth, or aforementioned? Aforementioned? I don't actually know how the fuck you use aforementioned because I don't actually know what that word means. But it's like all because of the how they're playing with depth for all of the visual styles of everything. It just looks weird to me, and I don't like it. And that's how I'm ending this. I'm excited for the game. I'm so very happy people are excited to play it. I'm probably going to play it. If I ever do make content on it, it probably will be... I'll probably do both versions at some point, to be fully honest. I'll probably stream both games, and tech looks so good. I think, when I was watching the trailer, I don't know if I actually mentioned it or said anything about it, but like I was looking at everything and I was like, everything looks so good. In my head, I was just like, anytime that I wasn't talking, I was just sitting there smiling, thinking to myself, this character looks so good. Like tech looks amazing. The interaction with Peach is awesome. I was thinking to myself, I love tech, I love tech, I love tech, I love tech, I love Yoshi, I love Koops, I love Bobbery, I love Vivian, I love Miss Mouse, I love all of them, and they're so great, and I love all of them. I didn't say that, but I'm so fucking happy with all of that stuff, and it's so fucking good. Well done, Nintendo. You did a good job. You did a good job. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's not my perfect Paper Mario the Thousand-Year-Door remake, you did a good job, and I'm grateful. Thank you. Send it to me for free.